Okay. First things first. Praise the Lord. Always. When you see the battle for what it is, you know how to defend against yourself. But yeah, I want to talk about some stuff about something that this one lady was talking
You're
about.
all right, Outrider. When we heard you went missing after you fought that altered, even Jakob got worried.
I watch her. Not a ridiculous amount, but I do watch her though. And
be careful in the wreckage zone. I'm not sure what effect high radiation levels might have on an altered. She
sat there and she said something that was very unique.
Trenchtown looks like it's hanging by a thread. But I guess this place has always looked like that.
She said something about kind of like how people are and that, you know, like this whole political shit going on and that, and she was just like, none of this stuff matters. People are going way too far. And funny thing is, that people are starting to see the true colors of people. That means that the atmosphere is changing. And I'm not going to say that Christ is coming back soon, because I don't know. All I know is when the atmosphere changes, there's definitely a lot of stuff that's going to be happening. And when we start seeing all these things starting to come down that road and that, it's coming to the point where if life's starting to dramatically change from really stupid and bad, which it did, to rather good, and things are starting to come to that conclusion. Like Jesus said in the Bible, he said in Revelations that there's going to be tributes. There's going to be, you know, massive hatred. People are going to start showing their fangs because they can't hold their posture anymore. Basically, they can't lie anymore. That's what you're seeing in the political range. You got these people boasting about themselves and constantly doing this pride shit, and it's getting to that point. I'm talking about pride, the gay stuff, the homosexual stuff. I'm talking about the pride of the sin pride. You got so many people coming out. They're boasting themselves about this and that. They're making a bunch of money in that. They're all like, I'm so successful, so happy I'm successful in that. And then when it comes down to it,
I'll repair the line.
Did you find where the line is broken? Think stopping this plunger from working?
They're just boasting themselves. When we start to see that, we should start to say, beware. True evil comes when demons boast themselves. They know the end's getting close. Because it was a sign in Revelations talking about it. Now, it could be 100 years from now, it could be 50 years from now. No one truly knows. All I have to say is, what is true is that God Yahweh, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, they love you and they want you to be with them. I understand certain people know specific things and that because the way life is and that, which I completely understand. A lot of people out there sitting there and trying to tell you things and do things and be like, oh, what's this and that, this and that. No, the truth of it is, a lot of people are going to lie right to your face. And they're always going to. Because they don't know. They're gonna do it for a reason because they know officially that they're losing.
What exactly am I looking for here?
The spot where the line's been blasted apart. You gotta piece it back together again for it to work.
Alright, so use my pistols then. Because that's like the biggest thing I would say a lot of people have issues with it. It's really hard. When you're a child and that, you just want to have fun and enjoy life and that. Even when you have a job and that. Some people, just because you have a job and that doesn't mean that you can sit there and be hateful and be, you know, dramatically a piece of shit person and that. Just because of, you know, temptation comes in. A lot of people have deep temptations of jealousy and they compare themselves to other people and that. And I say, I can't say there's anything wrong with that, because a lot of people do that. The reason why a lot of people compare themselves so damn much is because they feel that they have to. That's the only reason why they kind of do it. They feel like they have to.
I found the break in the line.
Can you fix it? I want to blow this place sky high.
Yeah, I can fix it. Hold off the fireworks till I'm back.
I mean, there's a lot to take in, but that's why I ignore the naysayers. I push myself to love as much as I can.
Hey, you still there? Shit. I need to get back to him.
You always want to say, is it difficult to deal with the bullshit in life? And I'm like, yeah. It's very difficult to deal with the bullshit in life. Because it's everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go, you're going to have people that are going to be tempted by demons. They walk with demons. I mean, people think like, well, what do you mean by demons? That these are just human emotions. It's just how humans are. Actually, no, it's not how humans are. It's how you portrayed how humans are because you don't know the truth about how humans actually were created. Let's think about this. If sin didn't exist, and there was no pain, no unhappiness, nothing but love and glory, just to say, would you sit there and want sin if you saw it? You sit there like, I don't want that life. Why would I want a life like that? Why would I want a life where I'm tormented by these unclean spirits, these rebel angel spirits that are sitting there telling me that God doesn't love me, but I see God that loves me. I see that I walk with God. I see that I'm around God. And then that's what it comes down to. And that's what makes it very interesting. Yeah, people live their whole entire life not knowing the truth. Let me finish this cool boss fight up. Yeah, it doesn't pop up the whole entire thing. I didn't see your message. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, because the message board on this sucks ass is public. I'm doing good. And no, nothing happened. Just trying to learn more about, you know, life and that, you know. When people say, oh, I struggle, do they really struggle, or they just don't know how to get out of the struggle? I think it comes down to knowledge and wisdom. You know, if you don't know something, you normally struggle with it more than if you did know it. So, I don't think everyone should have that perfect life, because it doesn't make sense. Perfection is a feeble dream that people tend to go for, but you go for what you think perfection it is, which is only in what we call the physical reality of life.
You came back. We'll do it together. Music to my
I guess I can just level that up. But yeah. I truly believe a lot of people just don't understand the truth about life. And they struggle with it so hard, it ends up poisoning their minds. And it puts them into a train of thought that they can never break.
Just, I hope you won't be gone too long, Outrider. There were some roars of rather frightening creatures from over just yonder.
Over this yonder. Critical, long range, close range. I guess you could do critical, I do like criticals a lot. Close range, what about that? It's got buggers, spoilers. Where the fuck I have to go? Oh, it's over here. Right, this mini map is fucking terrible. It doesn't actually like show, it's just like a radar system. It doesn't actually show what's going on. Yeah, I think people live too much of, well, unknown spaces. Like people that believe in space, for instance. Like, oh, well, space exists because we can see planets. I'm like, yeah, you can't see something's out there. Oh, but NASA has declared it. Like, but NASA's retarded. Like, oh, we're looking for asteroids in that. Okay, where are they at? The thing becomes an issue. You notice that they make up shit during certain political cycles. That's why I fucking hate politicals. I hate all this crap that's going on. Not as in I don't love the people that are, you know, going through with it, because more or less likely they're puppets of Satan. You know? They got their riches, they got all their stuff in that, they fucked over a shit ton of people in that, and people can say whatever they want to say. You can. The problem it is, you believe whatever you want to believe. People posting on the internet about the political bullshit and that, or I'm a Trumper and that, or I'm, you know, against Hollywood and that, and Hollywood's gonna fall, ha ha ha. It's good that satanic stuff's falling. You can't fucking deny it anymore, that's true. Can't deny the truth anymore. It's right in front of us. It's like slapping us in the fucking face. You can say the only ones that want to deny the truth are the ones that still live in the fucking face, right? They want to believe in the bullshit that they see because they're too scared to realize the truth. Because they think, well, if I'm not part of the world, then I ain't gonna like it. It's not about people fucking liking it. Fuck says people need to fight. I mean, people don't completely dislike people. That they may like how they think. They'll say, "Well, that's just a belief. It's not a belief. It's the truth." That's where they start to get really hateful, man. They get really fucking pissy. And as soon as they get pissy, they go straight to the internet. Well, the internet says the internet is filled with people that tell you bullshit. You can look up anything on the internet. You can look up internet and say, you know, that Buddha is the god of all gods. That Buddha is, you know, so according to Buddha logic and whatever fucking bullshit about that. And they sit there and they're all like, oh well, Chinese culture is, you know, right. They say, well, Russian culture is right. And they say, well, this culture is right. It's like, yeah, you guys are just making up shit now. There's only one truth. That's what truth is. It's the truth. It's something that makes complete sense how the world works. That's where you come to a standstill problem. That many people have an issue with. Why are all cultures that are evil cultures, that are followers of Satan? Hollywood, for instance, prime example. Why do they only mock Christ? They only mock Jesus.
This is just the kind of artifact Madame Beauvoir's looking for.
You can say, well, if you put it together, the only reason why people mock people is because they know that they have no power over them. That's why they fucking mock them. It's a bullying tactic. That means that that person has more than what they have to a certain extent. When we're talking about theology, a little different of a story. Satan wants to think that he has control, but he knows he don't. You look at Satan right in the face. He can growl at you, he can tempt you. As long as you believe in Christ in your heart and with all of your might, he would have to back away. He has to. That is the law of theology. They have to. But if you don't understand the truth of temptation, then you walk along that line of saying, the devil's scared, the angels are, the demons are scaring that. Yeah, and they portray demons like on Diablo or all these fucking videos now. They portray demons being these big, ugly fucking creatures that actually, all fallen angels are still fucking angels. They're just fallen. It doesn't mean that they're not fucking, they weren't created with that beauty still. They just rebelled against God, so they have a dark intentions on them. They're still beautiful spiritual creatures. So don't say that they're ugly. So you mock your own stupidity. They're not. Devil doesn't have horns, okay? That was made up. That's the portrayal of it. That's what people want you to think. I'll give credit's due. Lucifer was the most beautiful thing ever created. He deserves that. God created him like that, so I have to obey what God created him like that. Why? Because God did it. Just because you say Satan's beautiful doesn't mean that he's a good spiritual person. Just to say, no, he's a terrible fucking spiritual person. But he's only doing because of his sin. If his pride sin never developed inside of him, he would have never done it in the first place. But that's the thing. No one thinks like that. No one thinks the true actual cause of issues is because you believe in absolutely fucking nothing. You know very little bit about the truth. And then you destroy yourself because you're so ignorant towards yourself. I have one lady that I work with. I see this shit all the time. The closer I get to Jesus, the closer I get to Yahweh, I start to see the little kind of like glitches in the matrix, so to say. I start to see these things because it's the truth. Your eyes change. You don't see life from the same direction. Because as Jesus says, I think it was in Isaiah, talks about God puts you in your delusional state of mind for that you will never see the truth. You will be caught up in your own illusion. That's how it is for a lot of people. They're caught in their own illusions. They really don't know what's really right in front of them. They don't see it from the perspective of how they should see it. They're lost in their own reality set. And yes, people have their own reality set. They follow their own scripture. They follow their own life. When people say, well, the Bible's not all, I can't see the Bible being all true. When I look at it, the Bible's 100% true. Because a lot of people died for it. Who dies for something that's not true? Most people kill people because of the truth. Because they're liars. They're deceivers. They're rebellious. I have people at my job when I first started the first month that were trying to destroy my job because of a feeling that they got. That feeling was pure temptation. It's basically that feeling was saying, attack that man because he's got this, 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 and this. That's how Satan works. Satan goes into your retarded self and he pulls out, you hate this, hate that. That person's like that, so you should hate on them. And then when the truth came out and the person got punished for their stupidity, they stopped doing it. But doesn't mean they don't think it. It just doesn't come up as much. But as the person started to get to know me more, she stopped reacting like that. Or he stopped reacting like that. We get stuck in our own delusions. Everyone's talking about us. Everyone's thinking about us. People really don't give a fuck. How many people say, oh, there's always someone talking about me? You know what that is? Paranoia. You believe in something that you don't know. You don't know that. So why do you care? But that's the illusion. I talk to people plain straight right to their faces. Because what happened on Friday. And I bring up these situations that to make people truly understand that we are walking in the spirit world as we're walking in the physical world. Satan's watching everything that we do. Every time we get tempted, we have to walk away from it. And knowing what temptation is, you gotta know what sins actually are. And it's not to say that you're not gonna fall for it because you are imperfect. That's not the point. You're supposed to ask for help for things. And sometimes some sins pulled you closer to God because you know that's a bad sin. If you know that's bad and you do it, sometimes some people are different. Just like in John. John said, pour the lust thorn out of his side. God said, no. John asked why. He said, because when you do that, it pulls you closer to me because you know that I exist because of that sin. Because you repent it and you say, please help me, please help me. You're giving him glory and he knows that. If people say, well, but if we worship something and that, but you worship yourself more than you worship anything else. That's why you're paranoid. You think yourself is more important than almost everybody else. And that's what pride is. Pride is a self-induced theory about you. It's all about you. So if I ever have conversations with someone and they listen to me and we have full-on conversations about, say, psychology and that, how people work it out, why they do specific things, and then all of a sudden I throw down the word of Christ, throw down some Jesus words, and if they're smart enough to understand, it makes perfect sense why they do it. You don't do it on your own accord. You do it because you're tempted. That anger that you feel towards someone saying something towards you, or you think that they're saying something towards you, but they're not, it starts a rebellious. And then you can see the guiltiness when people come in and say, well. So, on Friday night, I talked about this before, but now we're going to really dig into the temptations of what happened. And this is really interesting shit, because I knew the devil was around. I felt the temptations everywhere. The atmosphere was dark. It was clouded as fuck. Like, the anxiety was going up a little bit. I tried to hold on to for as much as I could, because I want to feel the suffering, because I knew what was going on. Before I asked God to clear it up for me, I knew what was going on, and I want to base in it because that shows sacrifice, and that's all I want to do. And so, Francis, two guys at work were thinking that we were talking about, something. It was one guy that was he was the one thinking that I was talking about him to another employee. So he was thinking I was taking someone's side, and one of the guys, well, I can't say he's a kid, one of the young man, he came on the side of me while I was washing dishes. He was behind me taking out some product and that out of this thermalizer that we have, and he called me Two-Face. So I thought he was joking, but he was trying to be serious about it. I'm like, I like how people get all the things wrong immediately without actually asking any questions. They just simply believe that it happened even though it didn't happen. So, I was joking with him. So I knew what was going on. So I'm like, I thought he was just saying stupid shit. But truly I knew, but I kind of disguised it, okay, whatever. But the tensions were building up in me. This ain't the first time this happened in the place I'm at. It's a fucking warfare in spiritual warfare. The closer you get to God, the more you will get tempted by people. And it's not to say that they do it on purpose. It's because they don't know. They don't understand what they're doing. So they keep on producing this kind of thing, and then they feel guilty over it when they know the truth. So after he called me Two-Faced, and I'm like, oh, like what? And I was joking, oh, asshole. And he's like, he said it again. I'm like, well, you're dickhead. I said, is that all you have to say? Is that I'm Two-Faced? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I said, it's well, I just listen to people and that because they want to talk to me. So, I'm trying to make people understand. It's that I'm almost 40 years old. I'm not young like you are, fucking idiotic like you are. You know very little, evidently, because your lifestyle, what you're doing with your lifestyle, you're not trying to actually learn wisdom. So it's going to be a hard task for you to finally notice the truth, because it takes time. It took time for me. We live in an age of complete entertainment. We're fogged by all this stuff, and that we don't want to know the truth about anything. So we sit there living our own little reality. And then sometimes the truth seeps in a little bit, and then it pops the fucking bubble, and you're all like, Jesus was right all along. People are fucking stupid. King Solomon said it best. People are foolish and ignorant to not listen to wisdom. They are gossipers, and they make stuff up because they're so prideful, and which makes you so insecure about your own thoughts. Because you think that you're right when you don't even know that you're right. But you pursued that because of your pride. Because you feel bad if you don't know something. Why do you have to feel bad about something you don't know? You don't know it. Oh, it's the sense of ignorance and jealousy. That's how all these sins work. That's how all temptations work. They all draw you in. Satan draws you in little by little. And then he'll point it out. This person's doing this person's doing that. And he's not whispering in your ear. He's giving you that feeling. He's developing it. And other demons work together to trigger these things. So every time you feel any type of negativity, don't sit there and think that you could do it alone, because no one can. Every time you deal with temptations of not knowing the truth, not knowing why these things are happening, that when you ask why 1,000 times, well, maybe you need to ask the person that actually will give you an answer. Maybe you ask the God up above, Yahweh, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, actually gives you an answer, instead of thinking it with your own human mind, which you will ponder with For your whole entire life, all you have to do is read Proverbs. All you have to do is listen to Isaiah. All you have to do is listen to Daniel. All you have to do is listen to Ezekiel. All you have to do is listen to all these other prophets that literally claim. And all you have to do, most important, listen to Jesus Christ's New Testament. If you listen to it, you actually understand. I know it's hard to read. I rather listen to it. But when you start coming to conclusions that Jesus is literally trying to protect us from Satan with just words. You speak words every day. Words. That is, how much power do you need to have just to speak words and things obey? Well, that's exactly what God's telling you. Jesus tell you, live the way I live. It's going to be hard. People are going to fucking hate you. People even might want to hurt you or even kill you because you're getting the truth. This world's really clouded around a lot of stupid shit. They believe in really dumb shit. They're clouded by their own stupidity. So have someone like me that's starting to grow in the faith more and more. I'm starting to understand what Jesus is actually talking about. Understand. I don't understand completely. I am starting to understand. My eyes are open. I see it everywhere I go. The demons are everywhere. Angels are everywhere too. It's a huge I would say, spiritual realm out there. They're everywhere. Thousands, millions of them. They're all over the place. You may not see it, but the tensions are there through the temptations that people go into. That's how you know that demons are around. People say, well, that's just human nature. No, it's not. God never made us to be like that because sin never existed. Sin, pain, none of that stuff ever existed in the beginning. That's why Satan makes up bullshit about what? About space and planets and aliens and all that shit. It's all a cover-up. There's so much cover-up, it's ridiculous. It clouds your judgment. You will not know the truth. I used to be a big space person. I used to believe in aliens and all this stuff and that. I was clouded by all the lies. I play video games and I'd be so oblivious to the world outside because I didn't know. Exactly. Because you didn't know. Because no one taught you. Now I'm starting to see the truth, and I start to see a lot of people don't know. My parents barely know. And people probably barely know. I only met one preacher. He used to come in. He came in at Denny's when I was working there. He talked to me out of nowhere. I knew that it was a spiritual awakening because he talked to me like I was his best friend. I met him multiple times. I actually did a prayer onto him in that. I don't know who he was exactly, but the way he talked to that, it seems like he was part of something rather decently, big when it came down to the religious factors. And we had a talk about, Christ and that. I'd say people follow Christianity, but they don't follow Christ. People say, what do you mean by that? That's what makes you a Christian. Actually, it doesn't. Christianity is Christ follow. You're supposed to follow Christ in depth, through death, which is, can't say through death because you die, but, after death, difference. Ugh. But the truth is, no one knows how it was at the very beginning. Because no one's alive to say it. But the words are there. The words of Moses, the Old Testament, they were there. They talked about it. You say, well, they weren't in detail about all this. They don't need to be in detail about everything. It's like, that's a relationship. Once you see it, it's hard to not see it. I can't go back to my old life. I can't go back to it. I don't care about sexual morality nearly as much, even though it's there, and I have to treat it like it's a fucking disease, but it's still, I don't care. I just don't see it as much anymore. I got a guy that I work with that he's constantly talking about sex and getting high and that. The dude's so delusional to the world. So delusional. That's all he talks about. 24/7. Oh, this girl's hot. He hides it. But the truth is, he's like, oh man, I want to fuck this girl, fuck this girl. He's constantly talking about it. He's a little short fucking, like, you know, really wrinkly ass, like, rather, not really old, but, you know, he did a lot of drugs and that. And that's all he talks about. I'm like, bro, like, you got 12 years on me, give or take. Why are you still acting like a damn, like you're like a fucking idiot? And they'll say, that's all I know. Exactly. Because you don't know the truth. So you can't be set free from the bullshit of the world. If you know angriness is bad, you won't be angry. Anger will try to settle in, but then it disappears because it's called temptation. And what did Jesus say about temptation? He says, when you resist the devil will leave. He has a time limit. So when you think about that, not all sins are the same. No. I think the lustful sin is probably the hardest sin to get rid of. That resorts to fasting. You have to fast to get rid of lustful sin. It's the most difficult sin to get rid of all sins. So you can say pride is, but pride leads to a lot of other stuff in that. But people get really confused. That's like, what do you mean? What do you mean by pride? I can't be proud of something. Being proud of something is different. Pride itself is like a rebellious thing. You rebel against what gives you. You say, I don't need it. Whatever. I'm better than that. You listen to people. They talk like that. They don't listen to wise counsel. Going back to Proverbs. They don't listen to wise counsel. They refuse wisdom. So I'll talk about this. Every time I bring up demons in the spirit world where I work at, they instantly get quiet. They don't ask questions. I've never had one person ask me a question. What do you think about that? Because they start asking questions, they want to know it. When they want to know it, the demons lose. These people just get the big eyes. The demons all listen. They all perk their ears up because they know the truth's being spilled, and they don't want the truth to be spilled because they're like, I don't want my human to know that bullshit. It's all lies. It's all lies. Don't listen to him. It's all lies. That's what they do. They'll yell and scream and they're like, oh my God, you're just saying stuff and that. But you believe in what NASA tells you when there's barely any proof. You believe what these scientists tell you, like Neil deGrasse Tyson or fucking Bill Nye, the fucking science guy, when they're all fucking fake cop-outs. They all know very little, actually. They claim they know their truth, but they made up their science. True genius people that don't broadcast themselves 24/7, they ain't got no time for that. Why would you want to do that? They might make streams and shit and talk about specific things because everyone's on social media now. But Neil deGrasse Tyson's on fucking everything. When the whole thing was coming, when the whole flat earthers were going against fucking Obama on that. Like, we need a spokesperson. Make them dark as fuck. Yeah. Hey, you over there. He's all like, well, make him talk proper so we can get him online and say he's got a degree in space bullshit. Yeah. Give him a script and let him memorize the script so he knows who the fuck he is. Throw him on there. We'll put him on a voyage of going through the planets that showed a bunch of fake fucking shit that doesn't even like resemble. You know, he's an astrophysicist. Yeah, that's the word. He's an astrophysicist. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Space shit. This is how Satan works with people. Satan can't normally Satan doesn't directly attack us, like in a way of like, you know, what people think and that. Most likely it's through human interactions. Sometimes he does to a certain extent. But it all depends. Normally it's human interactions that normally hurt other humans. That's why people that don't ever react to other human beings and never get hurt. Like if they just go to work in that and just block out all the stuff, they like remove temptation altogether. They don't care, and people will poke at them. I get people, as soon as they get go quiet and that I'm just focused on my job, and I'll have someone come up to me like, "Oh, what's going on with you? Is there something wrong? Because you're not talking." I'm like, "Because I'm just not talking." So I'm focused on my job. Because they're asking for attention because they feel something's wrong. No, ain't nothing wrong. It's about you. It's about your selfish interaction, because you're not getting any interactions. You're going in a panic, anxiety mode because you want attention, because you don't know how to do it unless someone does it for you. And that's where it causes people to be not self-reliant. People that are self-reliant don't need anybody to give them attention. I don't need people to give me attention. It's okay if people talk to me. Now I'm trying to preach the wisdom. I'm trying to preach the word of God as much as I can and what I understand as of right now. And the more I understand, the more I start to preach it. I start to connect it to the actual real world itself. Temptations everywhere. All things that are evil don't come from God. They come from Lucifer. They come from the sense that Lucifer was the one that started the whole sinning process. He dragged everything he could down with him. And that's why we have what we have today in this world. That's why, the world's a lot different now than it used to be before Christ died. Because after Christ died, after all the disciples died, after, all the stuff started happening, the world started to change. Jesus is winning because he's been winning the whole entire time. That's why today's nature net, you say a lot of shit's happening. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's people that die every day for really stupid shit. But see, that's a separate world from my world. Because I don't agree with any of the stuff they do. Their temptations are ridiculous. They're sinful as fuck. They constantly do it. It's not to say that, sin doesn't happen towards people that believe. It does. It just doesn't happen the way that we portray it as, we know it's there. So it does happen. We tried to resist it. And sometimes it's extremely fucking hard for some sins. Like this, like the lusting sin. The sexual sin. It's the hardest thing to fucking resist. Like sitting there and thinking to yourself, this is how it'll work. I'll be very bluntly honest with you. It's gonna sound a little weird, and that some people not. But I had it happen to me multiple times, and that there's been several times I tried to have sex with a woman. I would go inside of her, and I would go soft. Every other man would be like, wait a minute, what? There's no way. How would you do that? You must have a problem. You must have ED and all something. Like, no. Because there was no love connection. Other guys, if they saw the girls that I was with, just to say, back when I was younger, they'd be full-blown all in their fucking butthole and that. They would do everything they can. That's what temptation does. It turns you into a fucking, like, a demon of a sort. Where you don't care about what is actually needs to be there to actually have those, say, intercourse, type, situations. They go in and say, I don't care about marriage. I don't care about love. And they'll stick their head straight in the fucking nasty ass coochie holes in that and fucking be eating shit out, be putting their dick in everything in that. And they're like, I have a problem. Yeah, because you believe in the temptations that you keep on creating. You're not trying to fight against it. You're not trying to ask for God for help to give you the wisdom to overcome these things. So you keep on putting your mind into it. Because why? Because it feels good. Yeah, Satan wants you to feel good. Why? Because he knows it's going to trap your ass. I don't need to fucking feel good. I'm happy. There's people that feel bad that want to feel good all the time. Says, I don't need to want to feel good. I always feel good. It's just not massively explosive like people do that are on fucking drugs. I don't need all that damn attention. I think a lot of people that are like me probably think the same way. It's like, I don't need all that fucking attention. Every day goes by so fast. I was just off last week on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's Sunday now. And Sunday's gonna fly by like a fucking bullet. And Monday's gonna fly by. And then I'll be off again. I get paid on Wednesday. I literally had a whole fucking 3 weeks went by in a flash of a fucking like second. Why? Because I know what I need to do. Nothing worries me as much. I don't have anxiety anymore. Anxiety slows down time. When you accept what is real, time flies by. Because you know what? I'd rather have time fly by. And then eventually I'll just sit there and be like, I try my best, God. It's time for me to go. And when that time comes when I die, I'll keep Christ as close to my heart as I can. And if I take my last breath, I'm going to say his name right before I die. And I'll be so happy to be with him. Because the world can be good. There's a lot of good things in this world. But it's a lot of corruption. And when you try to mix the good and evil together, it gets kind of confusing. That's why when people stand tall, so I remember I was talking to my ex about it, she talked about revenge and that. I said, revenge is stupid. It's like, no, it's not. You take revenge because those people fucking deserve it. They talk about, like, killing people and shit. I'm like, what? I'm like, why? Because they treat me like crap. That was like 20 years ago. It doesn't matter. Right there. What kind of temptations do you think that person has? Massive envy. Sad, being happy, they resort to their past of mistakes that happen, and they resort to that past and bringing back that past as anger. Well, what fuck? Who gives a shit what happened yesterday? It's already done. It shouldn't happen, though. Who the fuck are you to say it shouldn't happen, though? Okay, God. Now every time you bring up God, are you God? Like, well, no, then shut the fuck up. You determine absolutely nothing. Maybe you need to rethink of how you think. And my ex had massive pride. She was she was a narcissist to a certain extent. She thought she could control everything. And the biggest thing that is, she didn't control nothing. Her life was terrible. She walked around in complete anger all the time, jealous of everything, lie about shit, constantly doing it. And when I said, you could just choose to be happy. No, I can't, because the world, yeah. The world's crappy. Yeah, Satan's world is shitty. That's what you're living in. That's exactly what you said. They always say the world is unfair and crappy. I know it is. That's the point. Why do you want to live in this world and praise it and try to figure out the world? Oh, fuck this world. It's creation. Creation was made good, but the world got cursed because of Satan. Satan's the prince of this world. He doesn't own it, no. But he's a poison in it. People get confused about it. Look, I don't want to be rich and famous and that. Why? Because it makes me look cool. Why? You start asking why 1,000 times, eventually comes down to the conclusion, they're like, I don't know why. It's just what everybody else does. Exactly. Why in the world do you want to follow a bunch of fucking retards that end up finding out later on in life, which most of them do, they end up going to God? All of them do. You look at all these rock bands, all of them that are not dead are all going to Jesus. All of them. All the dopers and crackheads and sniffing cocaine and that. All of them. The dark rockers and that. They're all going to Christ. All of them are. The darkest of people in that were sitting there worshiping Satan without even noticing it. He gave him glory. He gave him this. He gave him that. But at the end of the day, they're all going to Christ. They got off the drugs. They're healing themselves. And it's the only thing that matters is Jesus. The only thing that matters is heaven. This world doesn't matter. Why? Because they're starting to learn the knowledge. They're starting to know the truth. I mean, there's just one rocker guy. He's basically with Bon Jovi and that. I don't think it was Led Zeppelin. It was someone else. He was on that one movie Johnny Depp when he was a vampire, Shadow something, and the girl there was obsessed with him, and they brought him over to the mansion party, and then he was singing all of his kind of like darkish stuff and that. I saw an interview with him like I don't know, like a couple of years ago. And he was saying, yeah, and the interviewer was just like, so what changed your mind? And he's like, Jesus did. And they always get really confused when you say that because most people are just like, well, blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, what about your rock career? That's like, I really don't care about that shit. And like, it happened and that, yeah, but it was my darkest time in my life. And the person doesn't understand because it's like, well, you're worth millions, and I say that doesn't matter. Exactly what King Solomon said. It does not matter. Only thing that matters is God. Only thing that matters is heaven. That's the only thing that matters. Why? Because God gives you everything. And when he takes it all away from this world, when you die, well, you're fucking dead. Can't keep none of the stuff with you. Can't keep your steroid muscles with you. But yes, being successful in that is good. Having good hobbies is good. But that's all formality. Because at the end, you die anyway. People say, well, you just give up on life. It's not about giving up on life. This is a test. If anyone hates doing tests, they don't like studying. That's why they don't know shit. Jesus is literally a textbook. The Bible is a textbook of teaching you the real thing about God and the world that he made. The real thing about Satan and all the temptations and sin that follow him. It's a textbook to teach you. If you pass, just to say, and passing is belonging to Christ. You give everything to him. You announce him. That he's the Messiah, he's the Savior, he's Lord of Lords, King of Kings. You announce it. You announce it, and you announce it. People can hate you for it. People will mock you for it. Like a lot of Muslims mock it for it, but Quran's completely faltered to saying that Jesus is king, but they don't want to admit to it because Muslims are hugely proud. Especially the really heavy Muslim people actually read the Quran, well, most of it. And they like to poke at Christians only. I always had Muslims that, why don't you poke at Buddhas? Why? See, because you know that, guess what? Because Jesus actually has power, and you know it. Satan knows it. That's why you poke the bear. You're poking God, the creator. You like poking at him. Before that God is the creator, and that, you know, justice goes beyond people because you're an idiot, you get taught a lesson. They keep it up. They keep the poking up. It's like you are poking a heavenly bear. You're poking the thing that created you. To say Yahweh, the glorious presence of Yahweh created everything, and you're sitting there poking at it, even though you have no structural power at all. You have no power at all. You're made out of dust, and dust to you return. You have no authority to a certain extent, besides the free will that God gave you. God gave you the way to reject him. God gave you the way to ignore him. God gave you the way to love him. God gave you the way to follow him. You choose every aspect of your life. That's why when Jesus says, you can't blame the family that you're born into, because that's the difference. Your family is your family. Doesn't mean that they're going to teach you and preach to you like Jesus wants you to learn. But you love them for that they had you. Doesn't mean you have to like them. You honor them because they had you. They tried their best to make you, to design you in the ways that they think. Most families don't like each other. They like certain things about each other. They hate certain things about each other. It all depends on how they perceive the world. It's like my brothers and that. I don't talk to my brothers like they're like the animes and stuff like that. It was all like, oh, I miss you, brother. Oh, you're so successful, man. I'm happy that you're happy. No. I went to my brother's. He has marriage vow his marriage vows redo. We went to my sister-in-law's mom's house. Nice house and that, you know. It's on the lake and that's nice. That she married some rich dude or whatever and that, and he's got a nice, really nice house and that. He's a cool dude and that. Actually, he's very humble to a certain extent. He's jokative. And I went there because my brother wanted me to be there. I was gonna take off you know, and just go to work and that, but I had to go work at 10, so I was like, okay, like God want me to go, so I went. I saw him and he was really happy to see me and that. I got a little drunk, a little tipsy. So I was sitting there just talking and eating good food and that. I was chitter-chatting about stuff and that. And I opened my mind up a little bit. And like, I start to see the truth about like what happiness is when I went there and that. So my brother was really happy. My sister-in-law hugged me and that. She's like, I'm really happy that you're here and that, you know, you made your brother really happy and that. I say, yeah. And my sister-in-law was never really like that intimate with me, like close to me, because, you know, I said some things in my past that because of how she was, you know, she was, you know, kind of, you know, she's not really disrespectful in that, but like the way she thought in that, she seemed very unhumble in that. But now that she's older, like we all are, she started to humble herself a little bit in that, you know. And she gave me a hug in that, and you know, her mom, you know, I guess that'd be my aunt or step aunt or whatever the fuck you would call it. She gave me a hug too, and that like they were showing a lot of love, like they were happy that I came. And I'm just like, that's not unusual. I never got love like that before because it never really happened like in that intensively. Like they didn't care about like how successful I was. They didn't care about any of that stuff at that time, you know, because that was the grievous. They lived their life in that, so separated from the actual family, which is my brothers and that. We're all kind of separated. That, you know, I live with my parents and that, you know, and like my brothers have been separated from us for me for like 15 or so years. And so it's not to say that we don't have the same commons and that we talk about video games that like we always did, but we can't bring back the same things we had in childhood because we've always been separated even since childhood. And like they've changed quite a bit, you know, in their years and that. But I start to understand how much I've changed in a matter of a couple of years. And I start to see it in that. I'm just like, man, it's like, I'll tell you what. It was just nice just to be around them. Be around, you know, my brother and I have a conversation. We got a little drunk together. We're talking about stuff and that. And he wanted me to stay. He said, can you just take off work and that and stay? And it's like, well, it's like, I'm tired actually because I woke up early and that. I'm just really tired right now, bro. Like, I wish I could stay, but I'm drunk right now and that. I don't want to drink anymore because I know I'll be fucking wasted. I won't move and do anything at all. Because my tolerance of alcohol is really fucking low. Very low. I was drinking all these seltzers with a little bit of vodka in them. And like, they're like 3% alcohol. And I was getting tipsy off of it. So I was just like, yeah, it's like, you know. It's like, well, we talked that for a couple hours and that. And then, you know, and then I went home. And then, you know, I took a little nap and that. Then I went to work and that, you know. And another day went by. And this was like last month. And I started to really think about it, all the things that happen in my life now, and I try to use it as a way of looking at the Bible and that why Jesus talks about the way he talks about things. It starts to make me understand more to where I start to want to grow and say, that's all it was. I said, that's all I wanted, is to be happy. Nothing else mattered. No money, none of this, none of that. It was just about me being happy. And that's all it was. It brought back my childhood a little bit. All it was, we just wanted to hang out and, you know, sometimes you want to ask, you know, you want to go to the bar and that, you want to hang out and that, you want to get drunk and talk about shit and that, you know. It's just starting to bring back, you know, how it was when we were younger. And, like, it started to bring me back to the reality is, remember when I was a kid and that I was just like to be entertained. I was always loved that. I came down to because maybe I was one of the cuter boys out of my brothers and that. Which I can understand that now because I get a lot of attention from women a lot. And I start to see it. I'm happy. I'm so happy that I actually understand the Bible more. And more I understand it, the more better it gets. It's beautiful. And they say that Jesus doesn't change your life. Why are people changing them? I've changed in the last couple of years. I still have my anger, still have my, cussing and that. Yeah, it's a thing that takes time. But all I have to say is, I'm more happier than I've ever been. My anxiety doesn't even exist. I barely worry about things. I talk about things to relate to what Jesus is saying in the Bible, from King Solomon to Isaiah, and that we actually know it becomes actually quite fun because it's the truth. It makes perfect sense. It's like, oh, that's why people do that. Temptation. Oh, sin, the envy, anger always seems to crawl up people's asses very fast, and they get angry out of nowhere. It's like a teapot being boiled over, just explodes. But anyway, right back.
the fuck?
These are our trucks, but they're never...
Do you have a strange feeling that these storms are following us?
Yeah, something weird about it. Hang back until I clear the way.
I don't get it. How did the insurgents get their hands on working fusion cells?
Those weren't insurgents. Whoever drove those trucks, their electronics must have worked in this desert. A long time ago.
So, who the hell were they? Could they have come from the Floras? Like us? Maybe colonists sent to another planet.
That would have meant an entirely secret mission siloed off from ours. I don't know, this seems insane.
Can you think of an explanation that isn't?
Well, currently? No.
Tiago, has August said anything helpful?
August has been more quiet than usual. I've seen August fearful before, but there was always curiosity in his eyes. And now, all I see is dread. And I don't know why.
I found a place we can lay low. Jana, bring everyone in.
I don't get it. How did those people in the trucks get their hands on working fusion cells? It's not possible.
Zahidi, how badly do you need that antenna?
Well, to be honest, I've been having some problems pinpointing the signal since we entered the desert. I've just been guiding us on best guesses. But with proper equipment,
I get it. We need it. I'll radio when I've cleared the way. This is definitely a military outpost, but I don't recognize the insignia. At least, it's obvious now where those feral aliens got their weapons from.
it has to make you wonder. If we had enemies like these ferals on our side of the gate, would we have been too busy to start fighting each other?
Well, wouldn't that have been sweet? Hey, There's a pile of reports here.
You're kidding. From the people who were here. What's in them?
It looks like they encountered the same hostile natives as we did. They called them ferals. They established this fort as a base to send out scouting parties, trying to track the ferals down. But eventually, the ferals found them.
Doesn't look like anyone survived.
The name Monroy appears a lot. I think he was their leader.
Monroy.
Okay, Zahedi, the path is clear. Waiting for your arrival. Zahedi, lay low. I got company. Here they come. Zahedi, I think that was the last of them. They attempted an ambush, but the outpost is secure.
Try and keep it that way this time, please.
You hear that? It's a digital relay device. What the hell's it supposed to be relaying?
Our signal.
Our signal? Was them? But how was it playing when it landed? How is that even possible?
It's not. It's not possible. Only one interstellar ship ever left Earth. Ours.
Then who were they?
Doesn't matter. Those coordinates. We find them, we plug in, and we contact the damn Flores.
We've got the coordinates ready to go on your word, boss.
can almost hear Jakob saying, "I told you so."
Amazing.
August, your people made this? How?
Who cares? No other way but through. Need to keep moving.
Stay here. I'm going to try and secure a safe path through these canyons.
Let me know if you can reach that massive obelisk we saw. I've never seen anything like it.
August also seems drawn to it. I'm sensing great agitation. August wants to follow you.
Hold August until I'm through, Tiago. It's not safe. It looks like we weren't the first humans here. I'm seeing a number of dead bodies.
The same people whose vehicles we saw? Out in the sand?
Possibly. I'm guessing this party was sent out by Monroy, from that fort. Doesn't look like these guys had much more luck.
Any more clues to who they were, what they were doing here, would be quite fascinating. Keep your eyes open.
Zahidi, I found some writing. Seems to be anthropological notes from a doctor Indira Ocasio.
A scientist among Monroy's people? What did she find?
She was documenting what happened from the day they met the natives. Pax, they called them. Description matches August. She says they were welcomed with open arms.
Hack. Yes, that would certainly fit August. Incredible.
I found some pages written by Monroy, these people's leader. He led the raiding party into this canyon, believing it was the Feral's base, that he could root them out.
Maybe they were trying to help August's people.
Tiago, does August know anything about this Monroy?
I tried asking, but August won't speak about this place to me.
Path to the obelisk is clear.
August and I are just right behind you, Outrider.
Shouldn't you be waiting in the camp for my signal?
Sorry, August slipped out. I couldn't,
You all have to see this.
Outrider, we're burying August's body. Do you want to join us?
I'm not there yet. I'm gonna stay a bit longer. Take another look through the camp's remains. Found something you should know about. More of Monroy's writing. Seems he discovered the same thing we did. About the Pax transforming.
Does he say why? Why they would do that to themselves?
No. Only that he and his men stayed here for some time, studying and experimenting on the obelisk. Trying to understand its powers while repelling non-stop attacks. But when he learned that his fort had fallen, he finally retreated.
Colony? That means there could be more of them out there.
Outriders, I don't want to alarm the others. We're not alone. I can see someone out there, wandering.
Huh? Stay here. I'll check it out. Sit tight, people. I'm gonna clear the way. It's time for some answers.